Why did I just get 1 Ziggs for the Yordle round in Hyper Roll? Riot? Why did I just get 1 Ziggs? Oh no. Does Riot hate Yordles too? Welcome back, my friends. I am preempting my video that I was planning on putting out today with this one, because I'm guessing most of you read the patch notes the same way most of us read IKEA building instructions. You kind of glance at them and go, okay, I get the general idea, and then you just go for it. And that's what happened to me here before I get into the build. It's called Mission for Tuition. Why is it called Mission for Tuition? We're trying to raise money for our sons' middle and high school tuition. We don't take donations, nothing like that. It's all about views, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff to help the algorithm. Now let's get into it. Okay, so I picked up a Poppy with a Negatron cloak, which is something I like to do. It's a tanky character, tanky item. Then I like to see what I'm going to get before I decide. So I buy out my first board, and then I'm looking to see what other champions I get and what augments I get. So heading into the first augment, I have picked up a Vex and a Cho. So I'm thinking something either mutant or Yordle, something along those lines. Get some interesting choices. Bodyguard didn't really work for me. Exiles, I've done it so much lately. I just wanted to try something new. I love binary airdrop because you can get 2 items on a champion and then use that 3rd slot. But at this point, with the Vex and seeing the Ziggs, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go for Yordles. It's going to be fun. Haven't done it for a while, so let's do this. So of course the key to Yordles is rolling fast and furious. You want to get as many as possible, as quickly as possible, and then you're going to power up, and in Hyper Roll you get 2 Yordles per round. So you're going to be able to hopefully get to the group of 3-star Yordles before the end of the game and maybe summon the Yordle Lord. So I get through my first fight and I lose, and okay, that's, you know, sort of the way it is because the Yordles aren't very strong early, and then I get 1 Heimer. It's a Heimer, so that's pretty good, but there's only 1 of them there. So I look at the skill and it says after each player combat, 1 or 2 random Yordles are added to your bench for free. 1 or 2. I don't know the circumstances under which it's 1 or 2. Is it 1 if it's a high cost? Is it 2 if it's a low cost? What's going on? At this point, I just grab a Negatron cloak and grab a Yordle, but I'm wondering if I'm going to have to pivot away from this. And I think at this moment, I've also shouted kid, they nerfed Yordles. I look at it again and read it to him, and I'm pretty convinced I'm probably going to have to pivot away. There were 4 Garens down there, so I can get a Silver Garen and maybe switch over to Academy and Arcanist and see what that's working as. I'm just not sure, because I'm doing the math in my head and I'm like, if it's a 50-50 chance of 1 or 2, I have virtually no chance of getting 2 all gold Yordles by the end of this match because Hyper Roll just goes too fast. And the next round, I get 1 Ziggs. 1 measly little Ziggs. So it's not based on the cost of the Yordle. I have no clue what the criteria is because I haven't read the patch notes, which actually didn't even make it that much clearer. But I just know for Hyper Roll, this is a pretty big Yordle nerf, and it was not highlighted the way it should be. I did ultimately find it in the patch notes, and here it is. And it basically says that the Yordles now give 1 Yordle after each combat, but as the game goes on, there's going to be a chance you get a second one. I don't know what that means. When do these second Yordles start? What are they going to be? Do I have any chance of getting to gold? I have no clue. I just know that I'm losing, and if it doesn't start giving me 2 Yordles, there's 2 Yordles finally, everything's going to fall apart. So right now I'm going, okay, do I stick with it or do I abandon it? And my stubbornness kicks in and goes, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stick with it and see if I can work with this Yordle nerf. But I really feared that things are going to get really ugly really fast, because let's be honest, Yordles are not strong as 1 and 2-star champions. But I'm really stubborn, so I'm going to try. We go into the next augment, and I'm looking at it. Built different is not going to work. They're all going to be Yordles, so that ain't it. I could do Thrill of the Hunt, but I decide to go with Scholar Heart because I want them to cast more often, and that will give me the 5 additional mana. I'm also just going to load up Vex. Remember, I got Binary Airdrop as my first augment, so I just need 2 items, and then a random 3rd item will be created for me. But with this lose streak I'm currently on, and this match not looking much better, I wonder if Yordles may just be done for Hyper Roll in general because they've nerfed it too hard. My one hope as I'm heading into what could be my final couple set of rounds is that maybe I'm the only one in this lobby going Yordle, and I'm going to have an easier chance picking them up. And so much of this is now going to rely on luck. It's going to require me to pick up Yordles pretty much every roll. It's going to require me getting the right items on the binary airdrop each time so that I could possibly win. And I finally get my first win. The key to this build is going to be patience and luck, because I need Tristana to get decent items, and particularly Vex to get decent items. Vex can carry a Yordle build, but you need the right items. Headed into the final augment, I've picked up a Janna to trigger the Enchanter buff, and I get the chance for another Scholar Emblem, which will get me to 4 Scholars, which will make the mana increase even faster. This is going to be key going forward because I'm relying on Vex to cast often and hold the front line while Tristana does the work from the back. Janna's also in place to push everyone away as necessary. But I have a big question coming up, which is, did Riot fix the Yordle bug the way they promised? The Yordles appear and I see them go out on the board with 9 of 7, but then, yes, it combines. It combined. Thank you. Thank you, Riot. And I'm actually now starting to have some hope for this build as I've moved from dead last up to 3rd place. I am finding it easier to find more Yordles in the shop. During the rolling and the NPC round, I managed to get Tarek, I managed to get Heimer up to gold, and I picked up 2 perfect Heimer items. So into the Socialite Hex he goes, and we're ready to rock. And at the advice of Lizzie, I've decided to lean into Enchanter, although Lizzie, I'm not going to go with Seraphine. I think I'm better off sticking with Janna because she's also helping me with that Scholar buff, but it certainly seems to be working, keeping these guys healed and winning. When I ultimately read the instructions, I thought I was pretty much done with any chance of this comp, and Yordles as a build would be a thing of the past in Hyper Roll, because only getting a chance at 1 Yordle seemed like there was no way you could ever build into something significant. Well, imagine my surprise as we are into the top 4, and somebody's laughing about it. So I get through the NPC round and I decide to just load everything onto Yuumi. I want to put both items on the same champion because they will get a 3rd. And I want to make Yuumi as strong as possible because I think she is going to be the key to winning this match. With the 3 enchanters, all of the healing and shielding is enhanced, so Yuumi is going to be particularly powerful as she shields, stuns, and then additionally heals champions. You can see this opposing team has a Yuumi, but mine manages to get off the absolutely perfect ult, holding them in place for Tristana to do a ton of damage and finish them off. It's all a matter of positioning and luck at this point. I'm trying to keep Heimer ultimately protected and then hope that Heimer gets a great item. A Rabadon's Death Cap for Heimer on top of the Spear of Sojin and Jeweled Gauntlet is absolutely perfect. It also helps that Tristana picks up a Zeke's Herald so that Heimer and Tristana's attack speed is being amplified. Yuumi's ults are just spot on, keeping the team healed and finishing off another player. And I am happy to see that Yordle hate is alive and well, although I would say that this is actually a big brain comp because Heimer's got a big brain on him. And now it's down to the final 2 people, and we both have 2 lives left, so this could be a real battle. It's going to depend a lot on what items I get on what champions, because again, remember, I'm using the binary airdrop, and so I am getting a random third item. If I get something like that Giant Slayer on Tristana, Tristana is going to do an absolute ton of damage and clean everything up for me. For round 2, I think I'm in pretty good shape. Tristana picked up a Rage Blade, and even though Heimer picked up a Rage Blade along with that Spear of Sojin and Jeweled Gauntlet, I think I'm going to do okay. But there Yuumi landed an absolutely perfect ult, which allowed Victor to follow up and just wreck my team, which got them in on my Tristana, who did not have enough power to fight them off, and into round 3, we go for sudden death. And even though we have enough Yordles to summon the Yordle Lord, doesn't matter, we just sell them and see if maybe we can get a gold something else. Sadly, nothing jumps out at us, so we move everyone out just a smidge so that Yuumi can't decimate the entire team with a single ult, and hope we get decent items. Tristana again with the Rage Blade. Heimer ends up with a more Melanomicon this time, which will do an excellent amount of damage and anti-healing, so their Yuumi won't be able to help them as much. We managed to survive the Victor ult, and Tristana and Heimer working together along with Yuumi finish it off. We win the game, and it's GG to everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't be afraid of Yordles, it can still work, you just have to get lucky. Hope you have an absolutely awesome day.